Before Cristiano Ronaldo conquered Europe, before the million-dollar contracts and global fame, there was a man who carried a nation on his back and changed football forever. His name was Eusébio da Silva Ferreira, the Black Panther. Long before Portugal became a powerhouse, before Ronaldo's relentless pursuit of greatness, there was Eusébio, the pioneer who clawed his way from poverty to immortality. Born in 1942 in Mafalala, a poor suburb of Lourenço Marques, now Maputo, Mozambique, Eusébio grew up in the shadow of hardship. His father, Lorindo, worked on the railways. His mother, Elisa, raised 8 children alone after Lorindo died of tetanus when Eusébio was just 8 years old. He played barefoot in the streets with balls made of socks and newspapers. "Football was my escape," he once said. "When I had the ball, I forgot about everything." By age 12, his talent was undeniable. He joined an amateur team called Os Brasileiros, named in admiration of Brazil's 1950 World Cup team, before signing with Sporting Lourenço Marques, a feeder club for Sporting Lisbon. Between 1957 and 1960, he scored 77 goals in 42 games. Soon, his name reached Europe. Benfica coach Bela Gutmann sent the Brazilian scout José Carlos Bauer to Mozambique. Bauer's report was simple: there's a black pearl in Mozambique, buy him before someone else does. Benfica acted fast, paying 400,000 escudos, about €193,000 today. Sporting Lisbon tried to block the deal, so Benfica smuggled him to Portugal under a fake name, Ruth Malosso. When Eusébio arrived in Lisbon in December 1960, he was entering a country ruled by dictator Antonio Salazar. He faced racism, political control, and immense pressure, but nothing could cage the Black Panther. He made his Benfica debut in May 1961 and scored a hat-trick in a 4-2 win. Just a year later, he shocked the world. It was the 1962 European Cup final at Wembley, Benfica against Real Madrid, featuring legends like Di Stefano and Puskas. Benfica trailed 3-2 until Eusébio's 2 late goals sealed a 5-3 victory. At just 20 years old, he had dethroned Madrid and announced himself to the world. Pelé called him the complete forward. Di Stefano praised his speed and intelligence. Eusébio himself said, "I never felt pressure, I just played." For Benfica, he became unstoppable. In 15 seasons, he scored 473 goals in 440 matches, including 317 in the Portuguese league. He won 11 Primeira Liga titles, 5 Portuguese Cups and the 1962 European Cup. He also reached 3 more European finals in 1963, 1965 and 1968. He won the Ballon d'Or in 1965, was runner-up twice and became the first player to ever win the European Golden Boot, not once but twice. But his defining moment came not in club football, but on the world stage. In 1966, Portugal qualified for their first ever World Cup. Led by Eusébio, they stunned the world. In the group stage, he scored against Hungary, Bulgaria and twice against Brazil, knocking out Pelé's defending champions. Then came the legendary quarter-final against North Korea. Portugal were losing 3-0 after 25 minutes, but Eusébio refused to surrender. He scored 4 in 32 minutes, 2 rockets, 2 close finishes. Portugal won 5-3. "I felt like a panther unleashed," he later said. In the semi-final, Portugal lost 2-1 to England, but not before Eusébio scored from the penalty spot. As the final whistle blew, he walked off in tears, the famous image that became known as the Game of Tears. Portugal finished third. Eusébio finished with 9 goals, winning the World Cup Golden Boot and the hearts of fans everywhere. The BBC named him the Overseas Sports Personality of the Year. The English press called him the people's favourite. Greg Dyke said he was the Messi or Ronaldo of his time. His scoring record was extraordinary: 733 goals in 745 matches. That's a 98% goals to game ratio, and that's far higher than the percentage of people who are actually subscribed to this channel. Only about 10% of you watching right now are subscribed, so if you love stories about football legends like Eusébio, hit that subscribe button. It really helps us bring you more history like this. Eusébio's influence extended far beyond the pitch. He was a symbol of pride for both Portugal and Africa. In an era when racism and colonialism shaped the world, his success gave hope to millions. But his relationship with power was complicated. Eusebio once said, "I went to Parliament 8 times to speak to Salazar. I wanted to sign for other clubs, but the Godfather would not let me go." He was celebrated as Portugal's hero, but used as a political tool by the regime. When Mozambique gained independence in 1975, he lost all his property there, but never his roots. "I was born in Africa, made in Portugal, and known across the world," he said. By the 1970s, years of hard tackles and heavy pitches had taken their toll. Injuries, especially to his knees, slowed him down. He left Benfica in 1975 and moved to North America, joining the Boston Minutemen, Toronto Metros Croatia, and Las Vegas Quicksilvers. With Toronto, he scored the winning goal in the 1976 Soccer Bowl final, proving that even in his twilight, he was still a match winner. By the time he retired in 1979, his record was astonishing. 733 goals in 754 matches, 41 goals in 64 internationals, 11 league titles and a Ballon d'Or. After retiring, he became Benfica's global ambassador, always present at matches, mentoring young players and spreading joy of football. Cristiano Ronaldo, who often sought his guidance early in his career, said, "He told me to play with joy and never forget where I came from." Eusebio's humility matched his greatness. He travelled to promote education in Africa and supported FIFA's campaigns for youth development. His connection to Portugal never faded. To Benfica fans, he wasn't just a legend, he was family. To Africans, he was proof that greatness could come from anywhere. Comparisons between Eusebio and Ronaldo are inevitable, though their errors couldn't be more different. Eusebio's 41 international goals in 64 games gave him a ratio of 0.64 per game. Ronaldo's 130 in over 210 games sits at 0.61. Eusebio's record was built in an age without modern nutrition, recovery or technology, just raw talent and passion. Let's compare them briefly. Eusebio won 1 Ballon d'Or, Ronaldo has 5. Eusebio scored 473 goals for Benfica, Ronaldo has over 700 for multiple clubs. Eusebio's Portugal finished 3rd at the World Cup, while Ronaldo led his nation to the Euro 2016 and Nations League titles. Yet, as Jose Mourinho once said, Cristiano is the evolution, but Eusebio was the revolution. Eusebio didn't just play football, he transformed it. He was the first African-born superstar, the first to win the European, World Cup and Champions League Golden Boots. He paved the way for generations of players from Africa and beyond. On January 5th, 2014, the world lost him. Eusebio passed away from heart failure at the age of 71. Portugal declared 3 days of national mourning, the first ever for a sportsman. Tens of thousands filled Lisbon streets as his coffin circled Benfica's Estadio da Luz. Cristiano Ronaldo wrote, "Always eternal, Eusebio, rest in peace." Luis Figo called him the king, and Mourinho said, "He is immortal." We all know what he meant for Portuguese football. In 2015, his body was moved to the National Pantheon, the resting place of Portugal's most revered figures. He became the first footballer ever buried there. Even Pope Francis mentioned him as an example of perseverance during a visit to Mozambique in 2019. Outside Benfica Stadium today stands his statue. Frozen in mid-strike, eyes locked on goal, every match day, fans stopped to pay tribute to the man who gave them everything. Alfredo Di Stefano once told him, during Ronaldo's unveiling at Real Madrid, "That would have been you." Eusebio smiled, not with jealousy but with pride. He once said, "Football nowadays is just commercial. The players of my era played with heart. That's why there were so many greats. Pelé, Best, Cruyff. We played for joy." And that was Eusebio. Pure heart, pure joy. His legacy isn't measured only in goals, but in what he represented. The underdog who became a king, the African boy who gave Portugal its identity, and the player who made the world stop and watch. Every generation needs a hero. For Portugal, Ronaldo became that face. But before him, there was the boy who ran barefoot through the dust, dreaming of something greater. He became the king of Lisbon, the pride of Portugal, and Africa's first great footballer. Before the fame, before the fortune, before the metrics of millions, there was the roar of the Panther. Before Ronaldo, there was Eusebio. He played with joy, he played with courage, he played with heart. And even now, every time Portugal scores, every time Benfica fans cheer, you can still feel his presence. Timeless, eternal, unstoppable. Eusébio da Silva Ferreira, Black Panther, the King, the legend who made the world believe.
Enjoyed the video? Subscribe, like, leave a comment. And you know what? You might like this next one too.